Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today we're looking at how you are an inspiration to others. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with energy transmutation. Group number 2 in the center with a door is opening. And group number 3 on the right with you're working too hard. As always, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box at the very bottom. If you'd like to meditate with me, that will be the first link in the description box. I do offer exclusive content here on YouTube as well as on Patreon and on TikTok. So there are 3 different collectives for you to choose from and sign up for if that resonates with you, all with different flavors of spiritual content. With that being said, I do offer one-on-ones as well. So if you would like a Reiki session with me, a channeling session, tarot reading, astrology reading, astrocartography, or a personalized light code, you can find those on my spiritual shop on Etsy at Spiritualistik. You can find that in the description box as well. It should be right above my P.O. box for those of you who like to send me little letters and stuff. On my spiritual shop, you will find the books that I've written, the tarot and oracle decks that I've created. You'll find hand-wrapped crystals by me, intention candles to help you manifest, meditation cushions so you can have a designated space and energy for your spiritual practice, so on and so forth. There are prompted journals that I've created to help you with your dream journals, intention journals. Of course, so much more to assist you in your spiritual development and personal growth journey. With that being said, I love you. I'm grateful for you. I put out all the resources that I possibly can because I want to spread the love and the beauty that is the spiritual journey. And sometimes there's not always the right place. There are many, many paths up the same mountain. And my goal here is to create a safe place for everyone to feel like they can find the growth and the resources that they need in order to cultivate their spiritual journey, their spiritual energy, and their personal growth, regardless of what path you're on or how far along it you are. Even if you're at the tippy top of the mountain and you see beyond all the paths, or if there's one specific path and you're struggling to get to the top, whichever resonates with you. Feel free to meditate with me, book a personal session with me, bring home some of these tarot and oracle decks, pick up a journal, an intention candle, whatever your flavor of spirituality is. I love you, I support you, I'm here for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we're going to take a look at how you are an inspiration to others. I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at how you are an inspiration to others, and you selected the first group with the Energy Transmutation card. Group 1, the first thing that I'm getting is that you always somehow seem to have the answer. Now, it's not giving know-it-all. Rather, it's giving someone who has learned a lot, dedicated, devoted their life to maybe learning, unlearning, growing, evolving. Maybe you've lived many lifetimes in this one. Maybe you remember several other lifetimes. You are an inspiration to others because you seem to be a living documentation of the fact that you can get through anything and everything, and it doesn't just need to keep you in survival mode. It doesn't need to keep you down. Now, your strength is coming through here, but it's not necessarily coming through as a badge to wear on your shoulder. Oh, group number 1, they're so strong. Yeah, because you've had to be. But that's not necessarily just why you are an inspiration to others. This looks a lot like your grace. Now, a lot of you might not feel very graceful, but others don't see you this way. You inspire others because you take any energy in front of you, you look at it, you love it, you learn from it, you evolve from it, you transmute it. This is the kind of energy where you don't take anything personally, whether it's good or whether it's bad. If someone tells you, hey, I really like your shirt, you are not hop, skipping, jumping around all day. I've got a nice shirt, I've got a nice shirt. You are aware that that is a beautiful projection of that person's inner world. And yeah, maybe you like the shirt that you put on today. Cool. Now, if someone comes up to you and they say, I don't like your shirt, notice I'm using a superficial example because when we hit home with our character traits, that can, sometimes spark things within people. But if someone says, I don't like your shirt, you're not also taking it personally. You're not feeling insecure about your shirt. You are also aware of the fact that that's a projection of someone's inner world and their likes and dislikes, and that's fine. You are neutral and loving in the face of all energies. Energy transmutation. If something is thrown at you, you don't return to sender. You don't return to sender tenfold. Some of you might have a little bit of a practice of like protection or anything that's trying to come in. May it just get bounced back or go to its appropriate place in the universe and space and time. But you take energy and you transmute it. Any energy, any person that comes to you, they are leveled up by being in your presence. Now, sometimes for you, it might be a pain in the butt. Sometimes it might be a little bit of, why am I always the lesson and the blessing for other people, right? But you are an inspiration to others in this way as well, because who you are, without even thinking about it, is an energy transmuter, a very strong energy worker. You are a light. And of course, when you're a light, you're going to attract a lot of moths, among other things. But you are an inspiration to others because you do what you want to do in the world. You are not taking personally the systems that are distorted, that are in play in a small community, in a global system, or anything in between. You express your truth, you express the truth, and you are committed to growth. Not in a way where you look at yourself as perhaps something that is wrong and needs to be fixed because it's broken. You're not a self-improvement project, but you still are devoted to your evolution, to your growth, to transmuting your own energy. And I'm hearing here, when you transmute an energy into light, but you're still on that transmutational journey, then what does that light transmute into? Well, group number one, the answer there is consciousness. And this is why you're an inspiration to others. I'm getting even the lights in the world. One thing I'm being shown here is that there are a lot of people, spiritually and otherwise, who they love the love and light stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love light, right? But there's also duality in the world. Now, we also live in a dualistic system. And so outside of that, there is the observation of this, which is inherently not dualistic. I'm tripping over my words. Which means that there is duality and there's outside of duality as well. You seem to be a master of duality, and so the love and light people, they really look at you as where to go next. And the people who maybe are on the shadowy side of that, maybe they're, whether it's in a negative perceptive kind of way, or whether it's just maybe more of the shadowy energies that's not all love and light, they look at you as, wow, that's a great way to incorporate all of those energies together. It's almost like anyone or anything that crosses your path, they see that you in some way hold the key, hold the answer, hold the path to where they can go next in consciousness. This is about consciousness. And so you'll find that sheep who are lost from their flock come to find you. Birds with broken wings come to find you. And let me remind you that you are not an animal shelter. You do not need to be picking up strays, but you are an inspiration to others because you are loving and you do take care of those who need it, who wander along onto your path. And you're an inspiration because you continue to hold this love and this light and this energy, but without negating or dismissing the shadow. You are very well aware of the justice and lack thereof that exists in the world. You are very well aware, I'm hearing, of social justice and lack thereof. You are very well aware of love and light and lack thereof. Abundance and lack. That even lack of abundance is an abundance of lack. The way that the Eurobro, the snake eats its tail. The same way that the cycle is a circle, or it's a spiral. And so you're able to see outside of this sphere. And this is why you're an inspiration to others. No matter where one is on their spiritual journey, their personal journey, or their emotional journey, their mental journey, you always somehow seem to represent an out, the light at the end of the tunnel, even if the tunnel itself is love and light. And that is quite impressive. So let's pull some tarot cards here, and we're going to see how you're an inspiration to others. You remind people that they have a lot more options out there in this world than whatever it is that they're doing. Now, we did have this energy in the beginning of you doing what you love. It's beautiful. That in and of itself is inspiring. You remind people that they can do what they love too. They don't have to just follow a system. They don't just have to follow whatever, air quotes, the man tells them to say, right? There's a little bit of this, like, it's kind of in between stick it to the man and if you can't beat him, join him kind of energy. It's like, well, you can come into a position of power that is not an abuse of that power. It's not about control. It's about empowerment, not about having power. And so when you are empowered, you are able to do what you love and you're able to be successful at it. And this is how you're inspirational to others, because say that you are, let's just use spirituality as an example, because that is a common denominator that brings us all here today. Say that you really like tarot, spirituality, but maybe your family's very religious and they very much do not like this. Okay. In this kind of an energy, you might have a family member or two who wishes that they had the freedom internally to be open to learning about maybe not even tarot and spirituality, but maybe about candle magic or maybe about a different religion than the one they were brought up in. You, being yourself, automatically is an inspiration to them because it reminds them that they can do that too. You are, I'm hearing, don't walk, run. Like you are running, you've been running for a long time, and it lets other people know that they can not just run, but they can walk. Not just walk, but they can stand up. They don't need to be complicit in a system that does not serve them, does not desire to serve them. Also, I am noticing the Tower here with the Three of Cups, the Five of Wands, so we're going to approach this, okay? One of the ways you're an inspiration is that there is some sort of a knowledge with some sort of community, big or small, around you that is aware that you've kind of needed to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and move forward time and time and time again. Now, one way we can look at this is that you are consistently transforming yourself. With the energy transmutation card, this is giving post-breakup glow up. This is giving post-life change glow up. This is giving you utilize the things that arrive in your life, good, bad, ugly, weird, sad, to grow and learn and develop and to see the light in it without dismissing the dark, but utilize those things as tools together to allow you to be on the path that you want to be on. Your dharma, the thing that is meant for you, your life path, your soul mission, whatever resonates with you in that kind of group of vibes there. And you look good doing it, you're having fun doing it. You honor yourself. And that doesn't mean that life doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that life doesn't life at you. But your ability to manage everything energetically is why you're an inspiration to others as well. This looks like, well, emotional maturity. This looks like allowing yourself to take time to be inspired, receive inspiration. This looks like you maybe turning to spirituality when the physical things in your life aren't really going too well, and you know that if you can't approach something maybe mentally, then take a look at how it feels, the emotions. And if maybe you can't navigate it emotionally, maybe it's too much for you or it makes you confused or stressed, approach it spiritually. And if those things aren't working for you at this point in time, you can find it through your body. And you can navigate it that way. There are so many different ways to move and process energy. And it's not bypassing one to utilize one of the tools that you have, as long as you are setting the intention to utilize the tools that you have. We have so many different layers that we can process things through, and your ability to navigate the energies, whether it's through your body, through your emotions, through your intellect, through your spirit, through your alchemical abilities, it makes you an inspiration to others. People have seen you. I'm being shown like getting the door shut in your face. People have seen you specifically not whine and complain. People have seen you specifically not maybe act the way that those around them do. People have seen you specifically not take the example of those that you do not wish to be like, and rather build something that you do want to be, even if it takes you exploring that. People have seen you regulate your nervous system, right? Because you can't heal in the environment that hurt you. People have seen you re-regulate your nervous system and then finally experience the positive, the blessings to your nervous system. It's not just about, oh, well, this is negative, let me just bring this back into balance. Okay, something else happens, let me bring it back into balance. Now it's the growth, it's the abundance, it's the fun, it's the celebration on top of it. It's not just the shadow, it's the light. You transmute it. It's not just the light, it's the consciousness. You transmute it. Also, it's not just the light, it's the shadow. You transmute it. Transmutational energy. Now, hot topic, I'm going to say it though, it can go any way. You can take love and light, and sometimes you'll see people who are all love and light and they're really neglecting their shadow. They're having a hard time sitting. Maybe it's their humanity, maybe it's their perfection or imperfection, two sides of the same coin really. Maybe it's their ego, maybe it's a trauma, maybe it's an emotion, whatever it is, right? And the ability to look at this light and say, you know, on the other side of this there is a tunnel, there is a darkness, and to be able to understand and love and sit with that. Now that's a direction of transmutation that's not usually utilized and spoken about in the spiritual community, but it can go both ways. Just like you can move an energy from left to right, you can move an energy from right to left. And while that is not necessarily the organic flow of energy, and I'm not sitting here telling you to take all the light and positive in your world and turn it inside out and flop it into shadow, there are a lot of people, and I'm sure you know at least one of them, group number one, who do that unconsciously. They might be having a great day, yeah, but it could be better. Oh, I really like your outfit today. Oh, well, I had to try on 3 other outfits, and I'm really not feeling good with I'm so bloated today, right? And it's just that density, right? And so you're an inspiration to others, group number one, because you hold space for the light, for the dark. You don't get sucked into either of them in a way that neglects the other one. You hold the consciousness outside of it, which means that you hold space for maybe the little grouchy Scrooge energy, and you hold space for the happy love light bubble fairy. It's beautiful. But you don't get sucked into either one. You represent what is outside of that duality, what's outside of that paradigm in and of itself. And with that being the case, you show the love and light bubble fairy, right? Hey, my love. Maybe by example rather than speech for most of you, but my love, you can sit with this emotion. It's here because it serves you. Your anger, it's a part of you that loves you. It's a part of you that is honoring that you're being mistreated, or that you don't like something, or that something's not fair for you. And that's an emotion, and it deserves to be seen and felt and held. And you might want to reject it, but you can sit with it. If you're sad, it's okay. It's good to cry. It doesn't mean that you should want to be crying every day of your life, but that's okay. Honor it. And on the flip side, it's those people who are really grouchy, always in the shadow. They see you walking the same day that they're having, the same life that they're living, the same outfit that they're wearing. There's some commonality there. And they'll see the way that you skip, and you're singing, and you're having a wonderful day, and you're smelling the flowers, and you're loving life. And you both maybe woke up on the same side of the bed. Pun intended. And you both rolled out of bed, and you had your tea or your coffee. And you both went outside and took a little walk. And while they might be right, grouchy, that was such a weird noise, you'll be, oh, what a beautiful day, smelling the fresh air. Look at this beautiful flower. Look at the birds. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Hi, birdies. And it emulates. And it is an inspiration. It emulates love. It emulates growth. And another thing here that wants to just be approached one more time is you've been through a lot of very, very significant life changes that would put, like 1 or 2 of these would put your average human person just on their butt, respectfully. And you keep saying, oh, okay, like I love a good plot twist. Oh, okay, well that wasn't what I had planned, but maybe I can give it up to the divine, or maybe I can navigate this, or okay, maybe that's not what I wanted to happen, but I'll work with it anyway. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. You're an inspiration to others. Another thing that's coming through, group number one that wants to be seen before I let you go here, is you are devoted to healthy connections in your life. Whether it's with friends, whether it's with family. I'm hearing group number one doesn't take shit. Also, group number one is such an angel and such a little love bug is what I'm hearing. Which means that you are committed to being in healthy connections, committed to receiving healthy energies from your connections, committed to having fun, beauty, and also that you've learned, you've established, you enforce healthy boundaries as well. And those boundaries allow people to be in your life, allow people to follow your inspiration, follow your example, even if you're not even intentionally trying to set one. A lot of this is not you putting on your people are watching me, let me be a good example hat. Rather, it's just you being yourself. And so it's little things like your sister's little kid watches how you say, I love you so very much. Also, please do not speak with me like that. It is uncalled for in this situation, and I want to let you know that I will be removing myself from this conversation if that tone of voice is used again. However, I'm happy to continue this conversation, and I'm very open to hearing your perspective. In fact, I would love to hear it. I'd love to learn, or at least put myself in your shoes mentally and understand where you're coming from. However, if you use that tone of voice with me, I will have to remove myself from the conversation. And while you might be rambling off years and years of boundaries and learning and navigating what that feels like to maybe stand in your power and maybe not be afraid to be a little bit of an a-hole and maybe making sure that you have healthy connections and communicating your authenticity to others, there might be a little kid that has a better childhood because of you, that gets that job because of you, that doesn't get spoken to by their parents like that because of you. And it might not be because you snap that parent into place. It might be because that little kid learns, hey, please don't talk to me like that. It makes me feel icky. And I don't want you to be upset, but I also don't want to feel icky. That's how you're an inspiration to others. You're a beautiful, wonderful person, group number 1. And you're also very strong. Very, very strong. Your personal power, I can feel it bubbling. Like it's beautiful. It's divine. It's still unfolding. You probably have been on a self-love journey for a long time. You've probably been exploring different options about areas in life that maybe they're not going the way that you planned, or you've been working really hard on something and your intuition's telling you, don't give up. And your mind might be telling you, well, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and not getting different results, right? You might have been experiencing, lifing at you. And it's not about how can I manage it? It's not about how can I be more organized? It's not about how can I ignore this or how can I drop everything to focus on this problem? It's approached energetically. That is your muscle memory, spiritually, physically, emotionally. And because of that, you transmute energies in the ways that they need to go. You also hold space for what's outside of that. Because darkness is a vacuum, and that vacuum spits out as light. And outside of that, you can observe that from space, which is neither positively nor negatively charged. And that consciousness, that awareness, that observer perspective, when that funnels into you as an individual, the way that you move, the choices that you make, the boundaries that you set, the words that you speak, the situations that you deal with in life and the way that you navigate them, and the relationships in your life and your spiritual practice and your artistic practice, all of these things emulate growth, love, consciousness, and are an inspiration to many because it shows others that no matter where they are or what they're doing, there is someplace greater. And it's beautiful. I'm hearing something I say quite a bit on my channel, and it's anything that you can possibly fathom, mentally, emotionally, or even spiritually, there is something greater than. The universe is always infinitely expanding exponentially. Anything you can fathom, there's something greater than. And you embody that. And that is why you are an inspiration to others. Group number 1, I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And please have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. If you'd like a personal with me, I do have one-on-ones open at this point in time. I do tarot readings and channeling sessions, astrology, astrocartography, and Reiki. If you're interested in some energy work or to get your energy transmuted as well, because sometimes, the healers need healers, the lovers need lovers, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm here. If you'd like to meditate with me, that's the first link in the description box below. Once you access the meditation collection, you have it forever, so it's a wonderful resource to have in your pocket if you're interested. You can check out my spiritual store, which is where you'll find the personals. I've got intention candles, journals, both prompted and unprompted, crystals, so on and so forth, my tarot and oracle decks. So feel free to shop over there as well. I do have several sales going off through the holiday season, so keep an eye out on that. You might want to like, comment, and subscribe here on my YouTube, but also follow along on Etsy so you can kind of get little emails and notifications when I've got those sales going on as well. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok if you'd like more. I do offer exclusive content on Patreon. and TikTok and here on YouTube as well, all with different kinds of content. I've got one more YouTube channel that I've recently started, which is collective readings. So you've got my face in it. I'm giving like 1 to 10 minute tarot readings depending on what the energy calls for that day. And if you're interested in joining my book club, it is donation based entirely. I located it on Patreon. Right now we're reading The Power of Now. We all vote on which book we'd like to read together, except for me. That's not fair. We've got a big group chat. We've got a forum going on. We meet once every 2 months. So everyone's got enough time to read the book and digest it or whatever resonates with them in that moment. So if you're interested in any of that, those things are in the description box below. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at how you are an inspiration to others, and you selected the second group with a door is opening. Group number 2. I'm being shown like a crystalline, rainbowy kind of energy. You might resonate with, like, I'm hearing the words like crystal child, rainbow child, things like this. Doesn't need to be the case, but you remind people of the magic that exists in the world. You bring the magic to the mundane. I'm also getting that your devotion to a particular path, whether it's spiritual or material or anything in between, is very commendable and inspiring to others. One thing that is inspirational to others is that you have been able to access or acquire or level up into something that it's very rare for others to even be able to step on a particular path, to follow through with it, to be successful at something. It's giving, I'm hearing Ivy League, so some of you could be accepted into Ivy League schools. Some of you could have a career that is very difficult to get into or difficult to sustain. It's something like if you are getting higher education, right? The amount of people that are there for your bachelor's degrees are not going to be the same amount of people that are there when you get your master's. And there are going to be even less people there when you get your doctorate. And then you still have to test into whatever field it is, for an example. So you seem to be consistently passing something with flying colors. A lot of this colorful energy here. You bring magic to the mundane. You release what doesn't serve you, and you continue to find open doors and walk through them. But specifically, your dedication to a particular path is why you are an inspiration to others. Your ability to communicate clearly and concisely is very, very helpful to others as well, is what I'm getting. Because not only do you actually know what you're talking about, you are also very good at communicating. And so you are an inspiration to others, not only because you are a good communicator, but also, group number 2, because you actually know what you're talking about. If you look at social media for an example, let's use the PhD example next to social media as a great example. You're an inspiration to others because you, as I said, are a great communicator. Therefore, while having 3 million followers might give someone acumen in a niche or in a field, that doesn't mean that they actually know what they're talking about. It might just mean that they're a good communicator. However, you are a good communicator and you actually know what you're talking about. When there is like health advice that goes through phases of popularity on TikTok, or spiritual jargon and buzzwords that go around in TikTok or Instagram, social media, or it trends, right? There's very, very high probability that these things aren't even true. They're not based in fact, but somehow they become part of the mass understanding of what's going on because they hear it. That doesn't mean that they know it, or that they've learned it, or that it's true. They're not educated in it. They just heard it somewhere from someone who heard it somewhere from someone who heard it somewhere, and it plays telephone, not even knowing its source. And what a door is opening card, group 2. You inspire others because you actually walk a path from start to finish, and where people think the finish line is, it's probably not even halfway. And you embody this You walk through your life very devoted, very dedicated to your path. Maybe have been accepted into a program that few would even dare attempt to, yet you've not only been accepted into it, you are successful at it. And you also help others along the way as well. Not to become mini versions of you, but to be more authentic versions of themselves. You know what you're speaking about, and you speak about it very well. There are a lot of people out there who might know exactly what they're talking about, but maybe communicating isn't their forte. And there are, similarly, as we spoke about with social media, there are a lot of people out there where communicating is their forte, or they're really good at attention grabbing, or maybe they're just absolutely stunning. However, they might not be educated in what they're talking about. And so, you're inspirational to others because you seem to have found that perfect middle ground. You continue to walk through the open doors because you're not looking around to see what the crowd is doing. You're not looking around to see what's popular, what's cool, what other people think you should do. You follow your heart. Let's take a look at the tarot and see how you're an inspiration to others. Group number 2. You're an inspiration to others because in some way you've been able to create some sort of a foundation doing what it is that you love. And also knowing what you're talking about. I'm hearing you put your money where your mouth is. And this makes you an inspiration to others. I'm being shown, let's use meditation as an example. This is spiritual, so it's, relatable. Something where, well, have you tried meditating? Oh yeah, but that doesn't work. It doesn't work for everyone, right? You will hear that all the time. But for someone who's needed the meditation and they sit down, beginner meditators know that more often than not, it's not very easy. It's something you have to train, like a muscle. And it does help and it does work. But you're not just out there telling people to meditate. You yourself meditate. Maybe you yourself meditate and then you help other people meditate. And then you tell them, hey, it helps. Everything's not for everyone, and be authentic to yourself. So you have some sort of a foundation here. You put your money where your mouth is, you practice what you preach, and you have some sort of fulfilling and abundant foundation doing so. And that's inspirational to others. For example, I'm being shown in a world of people who want to be doctors or lawyers or therapists, right? Which are all very beautiful things to do with your life. You are what do you do for a living? Oh, I meditate. Well, that's interesting. What do you do for a living? Maybe you are someone who sniff tests perfumes. Oh, I didn't know that was a job. Well, yeah, it can be. If you love what you do and you're educated on it and you're a good communicator and you take the opportunities, you make it happen for yourself. A door is opening. You make your own path and you step through those doors that are open. It's giving, utilizing your opportunity, recognizing your opportunity, and then utilizing it. Okay, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and utilizing yours in integrity is also a reason why you're an inspiration to others. You embody that you can do what you're doing, but also do it in integrity. In the spiritual community, there are a lot of shysters out there. I can read your future. Fully inaccurate. Or you can kind of tell that they just don't know what they're doing and talking about. But off of that topic, you can understand here that you don't need to shyster somebody into whatever it is that you do. You don't need to be out of integrity in order to do whatever it is that you do. And it can be something like running a business. I'm hearing Fortune 500, right? You can get there the honest, clean way. You don't need to manipulate people and be sneaky and burn bridges and do things under the table. You can do it the squeaky, clean, educated, integrity way. And so in this, you're an inspiration to others. There's a lot of misconception about whatever you are or whatever you do, something like this. And you being able to bring a new name or bring authenticity or bring truth and bring educated communication about whatever this is also why you're an inspiration to others, because it inspires people to follow that path that you're highly educated on, but it also inspires people to follow their own path that they might be educated on or they want to get educated on without them feeling like they need to fit into a box that is systemic and maybe a little bit toxic. there's this awareness here that you inspire others as you do what you do. You practice what you preach, you put your money where your mouth is, you stand on business all day long. And you also help bring awareness very gently to the fact that a lot of the things that people are taught are in integrity are extremely distorted. For example, I'm hearing like concrete jungle, working for the man, like 9 to 5. And like if that's what you do with your life, there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. It's beautiful. But it's the fact that children are groomed to be able to sit in an office to make them docile. That is a distortion. And so you might be, for example, homeschooling your children, teaching them how to climb trees, teaching them about different kinds of government systems, teaching them about the history of the land that you live on, instead of whatever is in that textbook that was funded by insert billionaire. So, you are an inspiration to others because you know what you're talking about and you communicate it very well. You inspire others to do the same. You inspire others to empower themselves, to educate themselves, and you also represent someone who can do that, whether it's in the field that you're in, the vibe that you're in, or just their own version of that with their stuff, what they like to do, who they want to be. That you can be happy and healthy and successful and comfortable doing it. You don't need to burn your entire life down so that you can do what you love. You don't need to sacrifice everything so that you can be happy. You don't need to sacrifice maybe happiness for stability or stability for happiness. And so this is why you're an inspiration to others. You bring some sort of awareness to, I'm hearing, hustle culture, or perhaps the common direction that others take without thinking about it first, because it's following, I'm being shown like a school of fish that's consistently swimming against the current. You're the fish that says, wait, I'm going to let go and let the current carry me. But everyone else is following the school of fish because that's what everyone is doing. That's what the school of fish is doing. And so they're like, no, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a struggle. It's supposed to feel like this. And then you're there questioning it. You're there saying, well, then why does it feel so good to let go and let the current carry me instead of pushing up against it? I'd rather do what feels in alignment with nature, with myself, with the entire ocean, than just look around and do what everyone else is doing. If everyone was doing this, I'd still be doing this. But if everyone's doing something that feels to me a little bit off, I'm not going to swim around the school and try to convince everyone to not do that, but I am going to do my own thing. And so with that energy comes this legend, this lore, we had that telephone energy coming through before. Oh, group number 2, they left the school of fish. Oh, I hear that they're in, I'm being shown like Finding Nemo. I heard that they're in Australia and they made friends with the seagull and they're in a fish tank and they know a dentist and like the lore, just using Finding Nemo as an example there. And it gets telephoned. I heard he fought a shark, whatever it was. And you're an inspiration to others because of the energy that you carry forward. Because whether or not you fought a shark, the fact that you are the epitome, the embodiment of who you are and what you want to be, has led to curiosity about you. And that curiosity is how you are an inspiration to others. Curiosity. What if I let go and I let the current carry me? And when you do come back around, if you do come back around, it's in fairness, it's in justice, it's in stability, it's in love, it's in health, it's in wealth, it's not needing to just get through this, get past this, struggle through this. You're not under the illusion that you need to withhold who you are to be happy or healthy or comfortable. And you're not under the illusion that you need to sacrifice any of those other things you don't need to sacrifice your happiness for integrity. You don't need to sacrifice your integrity for your safety or your comfortability. You don't need to sacrifice your comfortability for your happiness. You don't need to sacrifice your health for your finances or for healthy relationships. It's all of those little teeny tiny distortions in that web of life. You're an inspiration to others because it brings curiosity about, well, what if I wasn't dealing with this all the time in others? What if it really is easier to not always be flowing against the current? What if I did open my mind? What if I did do what I love? What if I did put my health first? And that is how you're an inspiration to others. I had this 7 of Cups card fall on the floor in reverse. And there's another message that comes through here that's likely not going to be triggering for you, but I would be giving a trigger warning if we were maybe saying this to the people that do get inspired by you, group 2. And it goes a little bit along the lines of, if there's a will, there's a way. Figure of speech, such a cliche, easy to say, hard to do, I know that. But there is always a choice. When you think that you don't have a choice, you do have a choice. There are limiting beliefs, and if you choose to be in a cage of them, then that is your choice as well. I'm hearing things like, inaction is action, indecision is a choice, apolitical is political. Things like that. And so this is also how you're an inspiration to others. You remind people that, it is an option for you to major in dance in university. You don't just have to do chemical engineering or law or business or communications or hospitality. Like you can major in vocal performance. You can do that. You can get a doctorate in choreography if that is what makes your heart fly. And you can be successful at it and you can be good at it. And if you don't believe me, there's a wonderful woman out there named Sonia Taya I highly recommend you look at. So, group number 2. You are an inspiration to others because you show people that you can be, I'm being shown rainbow fish. You can be the rainbow fish and you don't have to give your skills away to everybody. You don't have to make everybody one scale of a rainbow fish because you're the rainbow fish. But everybody else is their own kind of fish too. They don't have to peel off their scales to look like everybody else. They can do what you do because you're living, breathing proof that you can do that. They can also do what they want to do because you're living, breathing proof that people can just do that too. But whatever it is that you do, you're an inspiration to others because it seems as though there's an air of exceptional energy to you. Something that is maybe like exceptionality or extraordinary or even regal about something that you do or something that you are or something that you practice. Giving Bridget Mendler, you all know about Bridget Mendler? I swear to gosh, that woman could do anything. There is this vibe of if you can think it, you can do it. If you want it, like it's a little bit I want it, I got it, but like not attitude-y, not with the attitude, but a little more with the like, so you want to be a singer. So, let's see, where do you want to end up? Let's backtrack those steps. Now let's also be open to the idea that everything doesn't go exactly according to your plan, but if you set that plan in action, you will get a lot closer to your vision than you would if you didn't try. And you might be surprised how you get there. And continue to believe that it can happen, because if that's who you are and that's what makes your soul shine, if that's what makes your heart fly, then that's how you know that's what's meant for you. Everyone deserves to be who they actually are in this world, group 2. Not just who they were trained to be because it serves a part of a cog in a machine or a bigger system, or I could talk about that forever, but that's not the point of this YouTube channel or this reading. And that is how you're an inspiration to others, because you show people that they can be themselves in this world. And they can be damn good at it. And they don't need to sacrifice. They don't need to sacrifice their healthy relationships. They don't need to sacrifice their finances. They don't need to sacrifice their comfortability. They don't need to sacrifice their happiness. You don't have to hate your life to be able to make a living. You don't have to have terrible relationships, like not have any relationships in your life in order to start a business. You don't need to sacrifice your material happiness to take on a spiritual path. You don't need to renounce something that was never asked of you. Anything maybe than limiting beliefs if that's the choice you choose to make, because where there's a will, there's a way, and you know it, you embody it, you live it, you breathe it, you are it, and that's how you're an inspiration to others. Group 2. A door is opening. Wherever group number 2 is, there's a door. I would be willing to bet you've got opportunistic people all around you, left and right. But it's not about what they want from you or what they can take from you or what they can convince you to give them or what you can do for them. It's about when they're around your energy, they see the world a little bigger, a little brighter, a little more possible. And I'm also willing to bet that there's a person or two out there that, because of the opportunists, because of the shysters out there, you might feel a little bit jaded towards a few individuals or about letting new people in or something like that. There are definitely people out there that cheer you on and love you for being you, that want absolutely nothing other than you, nothing from you at all whatsoever, except maybe for you to be happy and live your authentic truth. So, group number 2, that's how you're an inspiration to others. Another thing I'm picking up here with the 10 of Cups with the Chariot in reverse is that you don't let your emotions steer the ship. You show up anyway. You make long-term investments in your happiness and your healthiness. You exercise because you love your body. Kind of vibe. Type shit. You exercise because you love your body. Not because you hate it. Not because you're fixing it. Not because there's something wrong. You show up because you love yourself. You don't allow the symptoms of symptoms of symptoms of symptoms to be what steer the ship. You're right up and center there. So maybe you have an emotion, you honor it, you love it, you live it, you pull it back to center. You have a whim, an inspiration, good, bad, ugly, weird. You experience it, you live it, you love it, and you pull it back to center. You don't spin out. That's also how you're an inspiration to others. It's that silent strength of staying on your center, regardless of who, what, when, where, why, how kind of tornadoes insert life. In the form of other people, in the form of life events, so on and so forth. Because you always have a choice. There's always a way out. There's always a way up. There's always a way forward. If you choose to accept that mentality and if you choose to accept the choice. And that is how you inspire others. Group number 2, I'm being shown like pen in hand. If you're not a writer or you would like to be a writer, I'm really getting you could offer really helpful direction and insight. Maybe this is how I went from blank to blank, or how you can blank blankety blank. Now, it's not my direction telling you to do that. You're going to do what's authentic to you. That's what makes you beautiful, wonderful, magical, marvelous. But I am being shown that if this reading wasn't about like writing for you, whatever it is that you do or you are, even keeping a little diary or writing down your experience and then maybe converting it later, something like that, might be an interesting chapter for you to open at some point. But I'm not going to tell this group 2 what to do ever, because they've got it on point. You're an inspiration to others. You're a leader, not a follower. So, group 2, I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And if you're interested in exclusive content, I do post on YouTube members. I've got a channel, and on Patreon, as well as TikTok. I've got 3 exclusive content channels over there. I have one other YouTube channel that I've started quite recently, and it's collective reading. So you've got my face and my desk and the tarot cards, and they're short form videos. So if you'd like to subscribe over there, that's in the description box below. I do offer personals at this point in time. They are on my spiritual shop on Etsy. You can find all sorts of stuff on there. I do tarot, astrology, Reiki, channeling, astrocartography, light codes, you name it. I also have like journals, prompted and unprompted, my tarot and oracle decks, candles, intention candles, crystals that I've wrapped, spiritual stuff on my spiritual shop. It's also where you find my sessions. And last but certainly not least, if you'd like to meditate with me, that is the first link in the description box below. It is a 21-day guided meditation retreat. It is a collection of very specifically curated meditations for you, no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, and you have access to them forever. So it's a wonderful investment in yourself and in your growth. So with that being said, I love you. I'm grateful for you. Feel free to check out another pile or another reading, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at how you are an inspiration to others, and you selected the third group with "You're working too hard." The first thing that I'm picking up on here is that Group 3, you do a lot of stuff that others can't be bothered to do. And it might not necessarily be that you are working too hard. I'm also getting, though, that you pick up a lot of slack that is not yours to pick up, but for some reason you're happy to do it. There are a few examples that are coming to mind here. One being, let's just say that you are in a relationship or can be with a family or something like this. Now, it's not your responsibility to take accountability for everybody's toxicity and go to therapy, but you're happy to do it because you don't want to perpetuate these cycles. You want to be happy and healthy. You want to move forward. It doesn't mean that you need to take accountability for everybody else. I'm also hearing usually the people that need to go to therapy are not the ones who are in therapy. It's usually their victims. It's kind of giving that. Now, to brighten this up a little bit, with the "you're working too hard" energy, it might also be that you pick up slack for others at work or at school, right? You could be someone who tutors all of the classmates, right? But because you're tutoring everybody, maybe you're not getting enough sleep. So maybe the score on your test is a little lower than it would be if you weren't out there tutoring everybody. So everybody out there is getting really good grades, maybe even better than you, because they're benefiting from your hard work and you are exhausted because you are doing the most for everybody. But you're happy to do it. Your grades are good enough. Everyone else is thriving as well. And maybe you're thinking, I can sleep when I'm dead. Or you would rather, I'm hearing it takes a village. You would rather support your community. You would rather be the change you want to see in the world. You would rather help your classmates maybe move forward. You would rather help them evolve. Maybe it's more important for you to have healthy relationships than it is for you to be right about something. Maybe it's more important for you to see everybody follow their dreams or at least have a shot than it is for you to get 30 more minutes of sleep, that 1 more hour of sleep. Maybe you'd rather have a little busier of a schedule for 4 years, 8 years, than maybe not help people out. That's just who you are, and that's why you're an inspiration to others. You take on a lot that other people can't be bothered to do. This could also be the case spiritually, or just with personal growth and development. I'm kind of picking up on the energy here where you continue to grow and evolve, especially in the spiritual community, but not isolated to it, of course. It can be very easy to become complicit and comfortable with a particular narrative, right? Sometimes people will have an awakening. Maybe it's not representative of the full truth, but maybe it is what they need to hear at that point in time to get them to where they're going, right? It might be something that fluffs their ego a little bit. It's a narrative that they love. They're super happy with it. And then they stop there. They're good. They don't choose or care to unlearn and maybe expand there, right? Because it might be nice and happy and comfortable to learn, okay, maybe you were King Tut in a past life, and so now in this life you just don't resonate with people and you're better than everyone and they should bow down to you. Okay, that's nice and comfy. But there's also a point where you expand further than that. And we are all everything that ever has been and ever will be. And it's about consciousness. Now there's a point where you're doing the work that others can't be bothered to do. And it's why you're an inspiration to others. However, with this, there is the awareness that you are doing a lot, because in some way you're kind of taking on the work that others aren't doing. You're picking up the slack that other people aren't taking their own accountability for. And it's not your job, but you are making a positive impact in the world. And so there's something about your humanitarianism, something about your humanity, something about your charity that is making the world a better place. And you're an inspiration for this as well, because you don't have to be doing whatever it is that you're doing, but you also are happy to do it. You don't need to be the cycle breaker in your family, but you choose to. You don't need to go to therapy and become a happier, healthier person and be a better person to others, but you choose to. You don't have to take on tutoring all of your classmates so that they can all follow their dreams, not just you, but you choose to. You don't have to keep growing spiritually to unlearn things that you've been conditioned to believe, be a better version of you, and then help other people find the light at the end of a tunnel when they get kind of lost in the sauce too. It's very easy to do. But you do anyway. Because that's who you are. And so in this way, you inspire others as well. There's something here about the change. You are the change that you seek in the world, even if it's not the popular choice. You take a look at the past, and you take a look at the present, and it doesn't stress you out or confuse you. I'm getting that you are not a subject of others' limiting beliefs, but you observe them. But you are not subjected to them. Another way you're an inspiration to is you don't get sucked into instant gratification the way that others do. You are there for the long haul. You would rather show up well, consistently, than I'm hearing like a get-rich-quick scheme or a different energetic equivalent of that. Another thing here is that you're also very dedicated to truth, to integrity, and to making a better future for everybody that you cross paths with. You're an inspiration to others because you consistently shed light upon areas where things maybe aren't the way that they should be. You will maybe say the thing that everyone is thinking, but no one will say what it needs to be said. Maybe it's the elephant in the room kind of vibe. You might be speaking on truth that isn't super popular. A great example is that silly spiritual King Tut example I used earlier, right? If you go down that rabbit hole enough, every single one listening to you and every single one on this planet will find that they lived that life, or that they will live that life, because time is an illusion. That is how it works. But for one person to believe they're better than everybody else and that everybody else should bow down to them is a little bit silly. It doesn't mean we don't see it in our world, but you might be one to say, hey, check yourself before you wreck yourself with love and light. Okay, buddy. Now, it might not be that you are out there sharing those specific messages, but you might be out there sharing love and light and truth. And it's not to say that you are, love and light fairy, because we see you down in the trenches too. We see you being love and light fairy in the absolute trenches, and we see you maybe recovering in a little love and light den. So there's definitely duality there. There's definitely balance in your energy. You're an inspiration to others because you only navigate through truth. You don't care if it's popular. You don't care if it's fun. You don't care if it's easy. There's another energy here about how patient you are. You don't give in to instant gratification. But you're also aware that what you put out in the world does come back in this life or the next or in an energetic form. You're also aware that life is not transactional. Now, one thing that I am seeing here with this temperance in reverse, when we talk about how you are very patient with others, you're very patient with maybe results, because you don't do things for the results or for instant gratification. You do them out of truth, out of integrity, out of love, out of making the future a little brighter for yourself and those around you, on a big scale or a small scale. I'm hearing so mote it be, which is beautiful. But another thing I'm hearing here, especially with the temperance in reverse, is that you don't sit on your butt and wait for someone else to do it either. So you will show up and you'll walk that long journey, whatever that might look like, but you're not going to sit around and wait for someone else to tutor all your classmates. You're not going to sit around and wait for someone to say the elephant in the room. You're not going to sit around and wait for someone else in your family to be the cycle breaker. You're not going to sit around and wait for somebody else to speak up on that very unjust thing that's happening in the world. You're going to be the change you want to see in the world. And if that is to you, making you the bad guy in someone else's story, if that is to you, moving slowly but surely, and the results might not even occur in your lifetime, if that is you making the world a little better place, making sure someone else has access to food or water, if that is making sure one more person smiles that day or one more person has an opportunity to follow their dreams, so be it. I'm hearing someone's got to do it. I'm actually hearing a Mac Miller song. It's So It Goes by Mac Miller. And the part that was coming through my mind kind of says, it's hard to be the boss, but somebody's got to do it. People are like often on the BS, stuff like that. I would recommend listening to that song or reading the lyrics of it. So It Goes by Mac Miller. It's kind of how you're an inspiration to others. It talks about how you choose to be maybe the villain in other people's story, or you choose to be unpopular, and it's not because you are trying to be counterculture or you don't want to conform. It's a little bit more about you being authentic, standing in integrity, being in the truth. If I'm kind of hearing, if you don't do it yourself, it's not going to get done right. But it's not about right or wrong. It's not about ego. It's about, hey, someone's got to help this person up, and I don't see anyone else doing it. Someone's got to feed this belly, and no one else is doing it, so I'll do it. Someone's got to say the truth out there, and no one else is doing it, so I'll do it. It's really giving that. It's giving Not All Heroes Wear Capes, group number 3, and you are that hero that doesn't wear a cape. And you're an inspiration to others. You have a lot of divine energy on your side here. You know it as well. But I want to also take a minute to look at the card that you chose. You're working too hard. There's probably a part of you that feels fully burned out. Sorry, there is an airplane. But there's probably a part of you that feels fully burned out, but you can kind of snap back into it because you love what you do. Someone's got to do it. You're spreading the truth, or you can connect with spiritual energies, whatever it is. It's important work. It sets your soul on fire. Nonetheless, you're the one picking up all the slack. Now, there's also another side of this energy I'm picking up on that might look like you feeling like you are not doing enough. No matter how much you do, you're not doing enough. You might get absolutely burnt out and you still feel like you're not doing enough. You can do as much as you can, but it's never enough. There's like this vibe of there's always going to be another tear shed. There's always going to be another belly that's hungry. There's always going to be another person spreading misinformation. There's always going to be, well, hopefully not, but injustice in the world. You know, it's like this energy where it's got to get done. Like, life is too short not to be using every single second of it, making the world a better place. You're only here for so long. There's only so much you can do. If anything, you might be lucky to create a small little ripple, and so you're out there getting it done. So there's probably a part of you that you're working way too hard, but your narrative might be that you're not working enough. Your narrative might be there's so much more to be done, and maybe you know that you're not at it alone, but maybe you don't see that. Maybe you really don't feel that. Maybe you really are working at it alone. And so with this, you are an inspiration to others because, like the very first message was, you do what other people can't be bothered to do. And you might not be necessarily the textbook perfect person to do it. You might be for some things, but let's just say if you could solve human world hunger with an amount of money that is not in your bank account, but it is in several other people's bank accounts, well, you're the one out there solving the problem. Maybe that's not necessarily your responsibility to do so, but again, someone's got to do it. Something like this. It might be that you have other hopes, dreams, aspirations of yours that you maybe put on the back burner a little bit, or maybe you don't, you're more patient about, or you are totally fine going the long way as long as it's more of a mediator's path, or more of a moderator's path, or more of a humanitarian path than just putting yourself first. And that is how you're an inspiration. There might also be times where you help people, you share the truth with them, and it might make you the least popular person on the planet. You might get a ton of backlash. It might feel like sometimes it's you against the world. You're the only one lifting all these heavy weights, and they're not even yours to begin with. But you continue to move forward. Group 3, you're an inspiration to the world because, well, first of all, You let people know, specifically the people that you're helping, whether they're aware of it immediately or later down the road, that there really are people like you out there. So often you'll meet a smile or a helping hand that wants something in return or is being performative for whatever reason. But you're not like that. You love love. You love truth. You love making the world a better, brighter place. And so if that means needing to put up with a bunch of your family members bullying you for eating tofu instead of the pot roast, so be it. And if that looks like a bunch of people hounding you for a little extra money because you fed a couple extra people this week instead of paying your electricity bill, so be it. And that's not to say that you don't get yours. But it is to say that you had enough for you and a little extra to give, and you gave more than a little extra. You're an inspiration to others because you devote your life, your entire life, to making the world a better place. Maybe making people feel seen, feel loved, or just be able to be alive. Whatever it is you do in the world, you do it well, you do it a lot. And I'm hearing all are welcome and all are equal. And for that, you're an inspiration to others. I'm hearing that there are a lot of people out there, Group 3, that kind of think, well, Group 3 is better than I am. And it's not about better or worse or hierarchical energies. The other thing I'm hearing is Group 3 is stronger than I am. Because you might be in trenches you don't need to be in. Because it's not about just being a little light in a dark place. That light might be the difference between light or death. It might be lighting a campfire so people don't get frostbite, or so that they can cook their food, or so that they can purify water. You understand the power of a light in the world. And so you don't mind being out there in the trenches, even if you are working too hard, because somehow simultaneously it's always never going to be enough. And then here's this self-love checkpoint and reminder too that you are enough. What you do is enough. You are worthy of all good things. You do what you can, you honor yourself, and that is enough. Okay. But with that, with your motivation, with your strength, with your ability to actually make such foundational, integral change that you probably haven't even fully seen the results of yet, people are inspired by you. You have a lot of people that really love you. You might have a lot of fans, I'm getting. A lot of family or chosen family that love you, or people who see you as their family, people that you've helped that you probably don't even remember, but they'll remember you for the rest of their life. You inspire others because of the love that you have to give, your humbleness, your humility, and also your choice to not put yourself dead last, but rather to make sure that if you've got enough food for 3 people, you're not going to eat 3 people's worth of food. You're not going back for seconds and thirds. Instead, you're going to invite 3 people over for dinner, and you're going to feed 4 people, even if you only had enough for 3. Because if you can ace that test and you can understand it, you might as well bring your friends over and make sure that all of you ace that test, because all of you deserve a chance to reach your dreams. If you understand a truth and other people can't see it, at the very least, the very least that you can do is embody that truth. Because maybe they don't want to see it, they don't want to know it, maybe they're happy in their world, but at the very least, the truth is out there if someone chooses to see it and accept it. And that Group 3 is amazing, why you are an inspiration to others. I do want to pull like a card or two of advice here. We have the Two of Swords with the Hermit. Okay. Making the decision to rest and spend time alone, which will help you propel yourself forward. Okay. You've got to restore and regain that energy and recharge so that you can get back at it. Okay. And some of you know that. If you need to hermit a little bit or you need to hibernate a little bit, okay, it is with the greater purpose in mind. So allow yourself both. Okay, fully just go crazy, run out of steam, and then take a nice nap. Hibernate a little bit, and then wake up and go at it again, okay? If it feels a little haywire, it's because it is, because you're out there doing at least 10 people's work. Somebody's got to do it. I'm hearing that Mac Miller song again, So It Goes. Really, Group 3, listen to that song. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Seriously, you're an amazing light in this world. If you'd like to meditate with me, it's the first link in the description box below. You have access to the meditation collection forever, so it's definitely a smart investment if that's something you're interested in. I do offer personals. They're on my spiritual shop, which is on Etsy at Spiritualistik. Intention candles, crystals, tarot and oracle decks, journals, so on and so forth. Up there, meditation cushions to match the meditation retreat if you're interested in that. I've written a few books. Those are up there as well. Anything else I post on Patreon, as well as my membership channel here on YouTube. I even have a subscription platform over on TikTok as well. So if you're interested in exclusive content, there are 3 places to find it. All 3 are different. I've recently started a new YouTube channel, which is short form tarot readings between 1 and 10 minutes long with my face on the camera. So just trying something new over there. So if you would like to support me, subscribe over there. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe here if you're interested. I do have a book club that is donation based. It's $1. And we are reading The Power of Now. Right now, we read 1 book every 2 months, so 6 books a year. We have a big group chat. We meet every other month, and it's fun. So if you're interested in that, that is available to you as well. I think that is all I've got going on here for you right now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being who you are in the world. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical world. Feel free to check out another pile or another reading, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.